Okay, let's go.
Well, hi, friends of the Coachella Valley. Jose here from the New Mindset. I'm once again joined by...
the editor-in-chief, Stephanie Moreira.
And today we have a very special treat to you. The Coachella Valley is full of various artists and persons of interest, I would say, public figures that are very well known. And a good friend of mine is here today. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Annie, also known as FEMME A.
Woo!
Welcome, Annie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, Annie, we've known each other for quite a few years.
I know, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I found a picture, probably, I don't know if it was last month, a few months ago. I found a picture of when I first met Annie. And we both looked full of dreams and not knowing where we're going.
No.
It was so funny. And it was...
What year was this?
I don't
2015,
remember. You were
16?
playing a gig at the local place with Toucans.
Okay,
I think you were
yeah.
at Toucans. Toucans is a local bar here in the Coachella Valley. Check it out if you guys can. But that being said, let me just ask you a question. Annie, where do you come from? Were you born here in the Valley? Are you from somewhere else?
I've been in the Coachella Valley for a long time, so I know a lot of people. So a lot of people think that I'm from here, but I'm actually from LA. And I came to the Valley in 2005.
Oh.
Yes, I came to the Valley in 2005, and then I moved back to LA like twice. I've been back and forth, but the last time that I moved back was 2011. So it's been over 10 years since I've been back.
So you've been going back and forth.
I've been going back and forth. I still go back and forth traveling, but I've been like living here since 2011.
What took you... Where in LA, first off?
So I grew up in the Valley.
Oh, like
I grew
literally...
up in the
you-
San Fernando Valley.
Okay. And so what brought you to the Coachella Valley the first time?
So a relationship.
Oh, here we go. The
So,
juicy details.
here's
Here we go.
I know, it's a good story. So my first girlfriend ever.
Okay.
So I came out. I'm gay. I came out when I was... Oh, God, if I say that, then you're going to know how old I am. So I came out...
It's
So, so yeah, that was 2005, my first girlfriend. And actually, we got together in 2004.
Okay.
2005, I came to the Valley, like, I think we were living in, like, Banning or something
Okay.
with her family. And then she was how I found Palm Springs. Because we
Okay.
came here to work, to find jobs.
Yeah.
And the first time I came to Palm Springs, I'm like, oh my God, this is like a tropical place, like so much different than Banning.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, I'm like, thank God, because Banning from LA to go there from LA and like partying and then going to Banning, it's like, oh,
Yeah, it slowed
like
down a lot.
tumbleweeds and like
Yeah.
there's nothing there. And especially like back then.
And
So-
what was your first job in the Valley?
Oh, my first job was I was working as a hostess at a restaurant.
What restaurant?
It was.
Here we go.
It's a Mexican restaurant called. I have to remember the name.
So it's
But
in the downtown area. I'm
it's
assuming.
downtown Palm Springs. But it was called Look back then.
Okay.
It was
Look
called
back
Look Patio Bar and Restaurant.
Okay.
So as a hostess, she was a server, and that's how I came to Palm Springs. That's how I started meeting like all these people, like just.
And are
Friends.
you what's your family style like? Do you have siblings, mom, dad, or is it just you?
Yeah, my parents. I grew up with my parents, and I grew up with my sister. My sister is 2 years younger than me,
Okay.
and so she's in Seattle now. So she moved out when she was like, I don't know, early 20s.
Okay.
So yeah, she's been out there for a while.
Oh wow. And your mom and dad are still or
Yeah, they're still
okay.
around. They're still in the Valley,
Oh, they live
in
here
LA,
too.
in the San Fernando.
Oh, San
Valley.
Fernando Valley. Oh, okay, that's so you came with this relationship
Yes.
jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just assume that maybe that relationship had its beginning and its end.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like once it ended, you found your way with
Yeah.
new ideas, right?
I mean, of course, yeah. Even when that relationship ended, I wasn't even like DJing yet. I had the idea of like music production. It was like planted in my mind, but it wasn't even like out. You know, it wasn't even a thing yet.
When do you think you had the first inclination to be a DJ? Like, were you like in high school? Were you younger? Were you like, I'm always into music?
So that was like, I think it was like my maybe, what was it? Must have been like my mid-20s.
Okay.
When I told my friend, so I was downtown Palm Springs, and we would go see this this female DJ. And back then, like, she was like older, right? She's still older than me now.
Okay.
But I remember sitting like at this spot downtown Palm Springs, and I was with my friend, and I was like, I think I want to DJ. And she's like, yeah, you should do it. But I don't think I started until maybe like 3 or 4 years after that.
Let me ask you, was it challenging to understand how to be a DJ? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like,
Yeah, I had no idea, and I didn't know any DJs. Now I know like too many of them. Like there's a millions of them now. Like it's crazy how things change. But so back then I didn't know anything, and I had to like find somebody. So I think I was with my second girlfriend, then we went to a Coachella after party, and then these two guys were like, oh, we're DJs, and I was like, oh my god, like that's so cool. Like now it's like, oh, I'm a DJ, like, oh
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, too many
it's like
DJs.
so different now. So, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are DJs? Like, so I think I connected with one of them on Facebook, and then I like messaged him, and I'm like, hey, I want to know like what equipment to buy. Like, can you tell me? Like, I want to meet up and have lunch, and like maybe you and your friend can like help me out. Like, tell me like which equipment to buy, and like.
So you met up with these DJs. They gave you a basic structure. And what was that? What was day one for you? What was your first gig? What was the feeling?
So my
what
first-
equipment did you need to get? Like, tell us about those
the
details.
adventure of getting
Yeah, heck
equipment.
yeah.
So they didn't really, you know what? I feel like they didn't really help me with. I don't know. I feel like they didn't really guide me in the best way. But I figured it out eventually. I started buying like. So this was like 2010 or so. I started buying like turntables. Like I was gonna buy everything like separately. Like you need 2 turntables and a mixer. And I started buying like 1 turntable, a mixer, and I still needed like the second one, right?
Right.
And then I go to the guitar center like another time, and the guy that worked there was like, "Well, you don't need that. Like just buy this. It's a controller. It's everything. That's all you need." And it's like. Looking back, it's like, who knows if he was actually like giving me the right advice. Maybe he just wanted to sell something that was like easy to sell. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I ended up buying this controller, the Newmark NS7. So it was just like one piece. So a controller is just like one piece.
Okay.
And you need a USB. You need like to plug in a laptop to it for it to work. So I had that sitting around for like a year or two.
No way.
Yeah.
So you got it.
So this is my thing. I procrastinate when there's something that I really want to do and I'm stuck. I don't know. Like it just sits there for a It's like in my mind.
No.
So then I met this friend. She lives out here in Delfina. I don't know if you know her.
Oh yeah, of course.
So Delfina.
Shout out to Delfina.
Yes, Delfina's amazing. So I feel like she is the one who pushed me to like just get out there. So she was doing LGBT women events. And she's like, I need a second DJ. I need like someone to like open, because I already have Sugar Free was her second DJ.
Okay.
So Sugar Free.
Really?
My very first gig with.
What?
So this was in 2012. Right?
Wow.
So
So they threw you to the sharks, literally.
Yeah,
I mean, because
she's
these
like-
are the 2 biggest DJs then.
Yeah.
Right? So you're kind of like,
So
hey, you're going to
Sugar Free.
open for us. And like, yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
But she believed in you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Delfina, she's just like, just do it. I'm like, I'm not ready to do it. And she's like, just do it. You're gonna be opening. Nobody's gonna be there yet. I was like so nervous.
Okay.
Oh my god, I was like I get nervous still now, but like back then I was just like,
Oh,
you could just tell like I was just
Right, tense or
so
something.
nervous. And so it was my first gig was with Boudoir Entertainment, which was her like little collective back then.
Okay.
And she doesn't do them anymore, but.
Yeah.
That was my very first gig.
And do you remember the song that you opened with? Because I know you guys.
Do you? You got to know it.
I know you guys have to like structure.
I don't remember the song, but
Yeah.
the guy that was helping me back then helped me out. Like I was practicing like my set with him, and because I didn't know anything back then. I had to like learn from my gig. So what I did was I started from and back then I was doing open format, which is all genres, like hip hop,
Yeah, nothing
Latin,
specific, right? Yeah,
EDM, like everything. So back then I decided like to go from BPM, which is like 100 BPM, which is around hip hop, and then up to like 128, which is like EDM.
Okay.
Which is my like
Your niche now.
my like love, right?
That's your strength, yeah, right.
Yeah, and then the 90s stuff came from like the hip hop came from the 90s, right? Because
Okay.
I'm like, oh, I like 90s hip hop, but the little that I know, like, we're like, it's not the 90s anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I started, I don't know what song I started with, but I
Okay.
started with hip hop, and then I built
And then
it
you
up
build it up to
to
EDM.
EPM, and then by the end of my set was like EDM.
So,
Back then was EDM.
okay, so then you had your first gig. You had your first day. You had your first thing. You had your first failure. What was that?
Failure?
Yeah, where did you fail? Because we all fail. Day one, you're like on it, and all of a sudden something fails. What was your first
Like
failure?
with the gig that went wrong? Or
Anything that, yeah. What was your first failure? Gig went wrong. The speakers didn't come. What was that?
I have to say, I mean, like with DJing, like it's not the DJing part of it, but like the hooking up everything. It's like science, right? Because it's like audio. It's like if you don't know, like you're plugging in from the big, like let's say
The
there's
XLRs going
you're plugging
into
in,
it,
the cables, like the XLR cables to your equipment. And if you don't know that, like you're gonna hear pops and cracks and like you're like, you know, back then I was DJing with a laptop, like laptop freezes, shuts off, like the music stops. I was actually thinking about that. I'm like, I think they're gonna ask me like, what's the most embarrassing thing? But yeah, just
What was it?
the most embarrassing thing?
Yeah, what was the most embarrassing thing that happened to you?
I don't know. So I don't know if it's the most embarrassing thing, but I could think of something that happened lately. So I was in LA at a warehouse party, and my set was at 4 a.m. The party goes from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. I was the last one. 5
Yeah,
a.m.
of course you
So
were.
4 a.m. It's like a rave.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
And I was playing techno.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my whole set was techno, and I always hear DJ say like, know your music, right? So I put together this playlist, and there was a song in there that I did not like know like what was gonna happen. I just thought it was like a techno song because I heard like a piece of it, and then like towards the middle of it, it starts reversing, and I thought I hit the reverse button, but it was actually the song. But I didn't find that out until I played it again in Germany. I played it again in Germany. The same thing happened to me, and I just put my hands up off the deck because I was like, oh my god,
To see what happened.
this is that song again.
Yeah.
So in LA, so the song starts reversing. I thought
Wait. That happened to you twice? So it happened to you one time, you didn't hear the song, and it happened a second
No,
time.
but the second time I knew it was the song, so I didn't touch the thing.
Oh,
the
okay,
first
okay,
time
okay.
it was reversing, like it's a part of the song.
Yeah,
and I didn't
yeah.
know that. So it's reversing, and I was like, oh shit. So I tried to hit the reverse and unreverse it.
Yeah.
And then it actually hit the reverse and then stopped the song.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. And I looked at like, I didn't know what to do, but I already had this other next song queued up. So I just pressed play on this and just.
But people didn't even notice it.
I mean, not really. I mean, some
That's
people
good.
did. Some
Yeah,
people
right.
did.
The connoisseurs
I
probably
feel like,
are
yeah, I mean, some people did, but I feel like at a rave, like if you're out there, like in the crowd, this was like maybe like a month ago.
Oh,
there
okay,
was, like,
okay.
in LA.
Yeah, fairly recent.
The party was Lick and Dip, and there's at least like 1,000 people there.
Wow.
But they're all. They're raving.
I've heard so many
They're
stories.
young.
Well,
Yeah.
about accidents happening. Well,
So-
I'm glad that
But
it
what's
got over
what's
with.
important about that and knowing those and recognizing and talking about it is that I've always thought that learning from your failures is what excels you to be better each time.
Yeah, for real.
So at some point you had to realize like, oh, this isn't the right computer, or oh, this isn't the right plug, or something. So I guess a question for you, and in that same route is, you had to at some point. I'm assuming DJs learn what gigs work for them and what gigs don't.
Yeah.
And so, would you say that? I'm not gonna get into names. Would you say that there are some places that you prefer to like kind of set aside city-wise? You don't have to name places like
Like if there's places that I'd rather play or parties.
And what are your
Yeah.
top ones you'd like to play at?
So I went from an open format DJ to like an electronic dance,
EDM.
electronic music. Yeah. So I feel like the gigs that I would choose are going to be like either techno or like my top genres that I play right now are like tech house and techno.
Yeah.
And then house music, I'll do a little, if I, like I just did Pride, I did a lot of house
Yeah,
music
right,
and commercial house for Pride. But like I really like
That's your focus.
want like techno and like tech house because that's what's going to take me like to the next step and then to
Right.
produce music and all that stuff.
Well,
That's awesome.
techno's a huge huge thing.
Yeah.
Big old market.
It's a big market.
Techno, yeah, and it's coming back. Yeah, I was just in Berlin, and it's huge. Like Berlin is like the capital of
100%.
Berlin is like the capital.
Before we move on to the future of this, I really want to hear. I know that our listeners are going to want to hear. Let's go ahead and cut to the first commercial right about now. Did you hear that we're affiliated with Amazon?
The New Mindset's bringing you products you can find on Amazon using our storefront. Here is our new creative director, Melissa, giving us a quick sneak peek of hers. Go ahead.
When they say that you can find anything on Amazon, they're not kidding. Find their link on our official Instagram page, The New Mindset OTCB.
For all your items A to C, Amazon is there for you. Now let's get back to the show.
And welcome back.
Awesome. So Annie, your past is fantastic. Oh man, I've heard it a million times. People come to the desert with their relationships.
Right?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I have the same story.
You do?
I do. It's very similar. But okay, so you came here to Bali. You've been here for some time now. How many years have you been here? About 12 years?
It's been, this last time it's been over 10 years.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
2011.
So you've gotten to be known. So let's talk about you today. So the last time we looked you up, you were traveling to Thailand. I think you were in Germany. As a matter of fact, the reason we're recording today is because you're leaving again. And our recording day was supposed to be later on, but you can't because now you're leaving. You have a fantastic lifestyle. I see you're traveling so much. Tell us a little bit about today. How did you get to the first traveling gig?
My first out of country.
Yeah.
Like international gig was in Bali. I got the opportunity to go to Bali. So I was in Thailand, but I was in Thailand for yoga. And
That's right.
So Thailand. So Bali is in Indonesia. I got the opportunity to go to Indonesia, Bali, which was in last year of July.
Oh, okay.
So so I got that opportunity from, I was DJing at the Abbey in West Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
And I met.
Love the Abbey.
Yeah. So I feel like the Abbey was like a stepping stone for me, because after I got the Abbey, everyone was just like, oh my God, you're DJing at the Abbey. It was such a good opportunity, even though I don't work there anymore.
Yeah.
It was a good opportunity.
And did somebody ask you, hey, could you come to this festival? How did it work? Did you get connected with a manager, agent?
So technically I guess I have an unofficial agent in Asia. I don't have an agent here, but hopefully soon I do, because that's my goal with everything.
Right.
So from the Abbey, I saw this post on Facebook from the woman that was hiring me there, and I just followed a bunch of DJs that she tagged in her post or something.
Right.
So one of those DJs, I never met him, and then we connected on Instagram, because sometimes DJs like to follow other DJs, because it's you never know what can happen. But so I get a message from him, and he's like, oh, are you available to DJ in Bali? And he's like, oh, you're going to get a message from this woman. I'm like, okay. So I get a message from her. She's like, are you available to DJ in Bali?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll be available to DJ.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I was and I was like, is this for real? So she asked me to create this mix and send it to her. And she was like, her main focus is circuit house DJs.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't do circuit house DJ. I don't do circuit house music. I don't play it, but I'll do it for you. So it turns out I was actually the second DJ on the day of the event. Okay. And I actually got to play some house music. Mm-hmm. So it worked out. That's awesome. And I got to put a little bit of my style in it, and then just kind of build it up, and then ended that set so the headliners can.
How many days were you there?
So I was there for I think that first time was 5 days. So they paid, they flew me out there. They paid for the hotel. They paid for the flight. They paid for and she's like, whenever I have DJs, I always want to put the food included.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, of course.
Food can be expensive when you're traveling.
Yeah,
you have to pay for your food. So
that's
we were
fantastic.
she's like, meet me down here for brunch, lunch or breakfast. And I would go down there at the hotel and Miss Flores, here's
of course, yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Royalty.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So you had a really great experience.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, to go back to a little bit of when even talking about my experience of meeting, and I've always thought of your presence in the DJing world is very known, and not just that, it has a particular, style, and a very peculiar sets that you create are so good. and you just have this level, right? I feel like I've met some people that want to be DJs that often ask, who should I meet to learn? And I've always thought of, go to Annie and it's, but I can imagine how hard it is to even get 5 minutes of your time. I mean, you're so busy and ready to move on. Can I ask you, when you create your sets, when you sit down, I'm assuming you sit down and take a day to just create your sets.
Yeah, it takes a while. It's time consuming. Yeah.
Do you put them anywhere? Do you have like a SoundCloud or Apple or?
You know what? Like as far as like my sets, sometimes I don't really record them. I should record them. Like when I'm DJing live, I haven't really recorded them because it takes like all this equipment to plug in. But I should start doing it. But cool. But I do have stuff on SoundCloud, like mixes that I've made for like just kind of I guess promo for me. Like when I was like trying to go to Germany, I would like send them, oh, here's my mix, right? Here's my techno mix, like listen to it, basically.
Gotcha.
You know?
Going back to the traveling, so from Bali, that opened doors for you for Europe, right? Or
I guess kind of, but not really.
Okay.
I guess it was like on my like resume, so to speak, and it was on my like social media, right? And then like just even when I got back from there, like, you know, like even places in the Coachella Valley were like, oh, are you ready to come back here?
Yeah.
And then I would like, you know, like this one place I got paid, and I had DJed there like 5 years ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, so they're seeing like what I'd done.
What you're doing,
now they're giving me like, you know, triple pay of what I used to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but then for Europe, no, it kind of just like the Europe thing just happened. Like my girlfriend lives in Europe. She lives in Germany.
Right.
So I was visiting her, and then I'm like, okay, let me.
She's great, by the way. Yeah. Just so you guys know. But she's really fun. She's really awesome, and she's a ball to be around.
So she's So she lived there. I went there the first time, and I was like, let me try to get a gig, and obviously like it didn't work out. I was there in December in Germany, but we still went to go visit like techno places, and I got to like kind of meet some people, like this guy was DJing, and I got his Instagram and stuff. But then like the when I was just there and I had like 2 gigs, I kind of just happened from Instagram. I just like connected to people, and I'm like, oh, you know, I'm gonna be here during these dates. Like, let me know if you need anybody. So sometimes it takes like me to go out there because I don't have a manager right now. So
you kind of have to self-promote.
What's the worst thing someone could do is they don't reply or they say no.
They say no,
and then that's it.
So you've learned to. It sounds like you've learned to accept that no.
Exactly,
where some people get that no and they just kind of shut down completely.
Right. Plus,
it's important.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, you have to be able to get over that.
I was talking to this other DJ on Instagram, and she's like, my messages are left in like so many unread inboxes, and I'm like, yeah, same, me too.
Wow.
So. What's your like? Okay, let me ask you this. So when people say no to you, what is your reaction? Well, how do you handle that? No.
I mean, sometimes they don't even say no. Sometimes it's like, I'm left on red, and I'm like, oh my god, how rude! I'm left on red, or they just don't read it, and they don't. So it's like they never saw it, or they did, but they just didn't open it.
But they didn't reply back either.
Yeah.
And so what's your way of dealing with it?
Some people reply and say, oh, you know, we booked 6 months out. We don't have anything right now. So then I just say, like, thank you so much for reading it. Thanks for even responding, you know?
Right.
So.
What's your tip? So I'll go back to it. What's your tip to how do you deal with that rejection, with that no? How do you deal with it?
I mean, at first I'm just like, oh, this sucks. But, you know, you just got to move on. You just keep going, and there's so many people that would love to like have me DJ for them.
Right.
So it's just, you know, it's very competitive. DJing is a competitive like thing, as like so many other things are too.
Can I ask you something? In your personal opinion and all that you've been through with the DJ experiencing with music, what makes a great DJ?
A great DJ.
Yeah, because there are some DJs that I have heard here in the Valley.
Yeah.
And I'm a music person too. I've studied music in the past. But there are certain DJs like yourself. I've heard your music, and I always tell him, I love Annie's music. She knows, like she knows what to put in, like in her set. Like you have a good. I don't know if you tell yourself this, but from me listening to your music, you have a really good tonality on how to transition, and how to change it up. So not a lot of DJs do that, because when you go out clubbing, a lot of DJs sound the same. Same mix. I'm like, that's a different song that sounds the same. Or like the transition, they just put the whole song, and then it's like, okay. Yeah. So what makes a great DJ?
I mean, that's true, because there's so many DJs these days, especially since the pandemic. And I'm not gonna hate on anybody, but like, I feel like it's so easy to say, oh, I'm a DJ, and then, put a picture on Instagram and then, get a gig. Like there's so many places here where you can easily get a gig. So many places that it's harder to get in, but once you have that gig, it's like, it's so easy to do it. But the difference is using your ears to actually like beat match the song, and then like knowing your crowd. It's like me, it's like, I love tech house and I love techno, but if I have a gig that's local, that's more commercial, right? I have to incorporate like some commercial sounds, like a remix or like something that's gonna like people are gonna recognize, and like it's gonna pull them in. Otherwise I'm losing my crowd, right? And same thing with the techno gig. Even if it's underground, it's like sometimes even if there's no lyrics, it's like there's things that replace the vocals in a song. It's like if it's not like a catchy vocal, like something like a
like one of those loops, and that you can kind of remember,
like a sample. If it's not like a catchy sample from long ago, then you have to find a song that has this melody that's replacing your vocal. It's like almost like singing, right? Like a little like melody.
And that reminds me, one of my favorite DJs growing up is DJ Tiesto, and he would do different beats and then later have a beautiful angelic voice in the background, and that was even to flare.
That's awesome.
So totally it's just it's just using your ears. It's actually practicing like beat matching, and like because some DJs don't use their ears to transition their songs.
Right. Some of them use their feet.
some of them are using sound. Some of them are looking and they're using their eyes.
Yeah.
So if you see DJs without headphones.
Yeah, I get that, because
I get on them all, because like I was helping this guy out.
One particular.
Yeah. And maybe he'll listen to this, but we talk about it all the time. So I'm like, where are your headphones? So he came to my place, and he's doing amazing now. He's like, has all these gigs. Like he's connecting with like, he's networking. He's a good guy. Anyway, so he came to my place and he was helping me out. Or I was helping him out. I was like, well, what exactly do you want me to help you with? Like, is it your transitions, or like, what is it that you need? And he came over and I'm like, where are your headphones at?
No headphones. No headphones,
like,
no gig.
You need to have headphones.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I just look at the waves. And it's like, I'm not calling him out because he's amazing. He's not the only one that does it, but like, there's so many other DJs that do that. Like they're looking and they're matching it by looking, but it's like, that's not how you said it like sounds good, because you have to hear what you're putting out, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But that's what Annie, those are some great insider tips. Let's hop into our next commercial. And when we come back, let's hear about your future and what's happening next. Here we go. This commercial spot could be yours. The New Mindset of the Coachella Valley is broadcast throughout Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, and all your favorite podcast stations. For more information, don't forget to reach us at The New Mindset OTCV on Instagram or The New Mindset OTCV at gmail.com.
And now we're back.
Okay, Annie. So, man, what a past. So your day one was crazy.
Right.
You were thrown into the wolves.
I know.
It sounds like as the time has gone and spent, your present is very forthcoming. Going to Europe is quite a thing.
Yes.
I mean, and it is like capital EDM, right? And whatnot. So that you're in your world, you're absolutely in what you do. So now let me ask you about your future. Let me ask you about what's coming next, what's happening. Tell us a bit about, I know you also do yoga.
I do yoga,
which is what a lot of people know you too as well. You're a yoga teacher here in the Valley.
Yeah.
And I know that you've been doing yoga or at least I've seen that you do yoga in Valley too, right? And
I teach yoga still. I have like I went from teaching like 10 classes a week till now I teach like 3 because my music
You're so busy,
like,
of course. And so, what is next for you? Have you ever thought of opening your own yoga place? Are you just gonna stick to the DJ stuff? What's the deal?
I mean, I never actually thought about opening a yoga studio, but I mean, I wanted to like incorporate music with like, I don't know if I've heard of this collective called, I think it's like Deep House Yoga or something. So they do like chill music with like yoga.
Oh, wow.
So I thought of doing something like that. So, I mean, it's not like, I'm not like actively like looking, doing it currently, but that's like an idea. And like I've gotten messages from some of the yoga teachers like, oh, we should do like this thing with yoga and music. So that'd be cool to do.
I mean, and it's just a pitch, if you were to incorporate the two, it sounds like you have a hand in your hands. Yeah. Not just because you're known in one world, but you're known in 2 worlds, right? Yeah. So that actually makes it.
And it's very opposite. It's very like, right, yin and yang.
One's super calm, the one's super like,
exactly.
Who knows? Sometimes opposites attract, right?
Yeah.
Or so I hear. So it'd be an interesting thing to kind of blend. What about, do you have any upcoming gigs that we can know about for the near future? And by future, I mean, 2024, what's in it for you?
Oh, 2024. I don't really know about 2024 yet.
Okay.
Kind of, the one thing that I'm working on is music, like original music.
Oh, you're writing
really?
it wrong?
So,
like
yeah,
you're
like
making
producing.
It. Oh, that's
Yes.
Okay.
So I haven't released anything yet other than like collabs with another like DJ producer. But I'm looking to release like some original stuff. So I'm supposed to be releasing some stuff, like I said, at the end of 2023. But, obviously if I do release it, there's more to come, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So because my trip, it got delayed and I might have to wait till 2024. So even if I do, I'm still going to be like producing more and more music in, next year.
Do you think you have more travels ahead of you the rest of the year?
I don't think so. I would love to go back to Germany because my girlfriend lives there, but no. I've talked
again. She's great. Send a message. People hear us in Germany. People do hear us in Germany all the time. So
Nicole.
There's a
So no, I don't have anything. I mean,
as in yet.
Who knows?
Yeah, as in yet.
Who knows? Maybe something can come up.
That's perfect.
San
That's the
Francisco,
perfect DJ
right.
response.
Exactly, because everything with DJing is like so like it's like last minute.
It can
right?
be.
You said you were helping another DJ, and is that an aspect of your knowledge that you're trying to pursue as well? To kind of teach and coach others?
I mean, I thought about it because, why not like give what I know to people? And if they're gonna DJ, like, and if they ask me, have them like do it the way that, the most authentic way, I guess I should say, like, using your ears to DJ and like, knowing your transitions, not just like whoosh, like filtering, you know what I mean?
I wanted to ask you, when you are DJing, do you get in a trance yourself when you're on the stage?
Sometimes I do, yeah. Sometimes it's sometimes it's an experience, but yeah, like when I was in Berlin, it was like I played techno to like hard techno. I know it sounds crazy, but
it does sound
like wow.
It really does.
But only because like I feel like when I get this like energy, it's like an energy exchange from like the crowd, right?
Yeah.
If it's like they're vibing and they're like, they're like having fun and I could hear them like,
Has the crowd ever gotten way too much where you had to like rail it back a little bit?
I would say, I mean, yes and no. Okay, when I thought I heard the reverse thing.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they were getting rowdy, but it's far. There's like a.
Oh, so you had a barrier.
They have a barrier between me and like the crowd because that crowd is like 1,000, at least like 1,000 people.
1,000 plus.
Wow. So, but I have people like behind me.
Yeah, of course.
Like backstage and stuff.
It's fantastic, and that's amazing.
But yeah.
You are an amazing story. A very successful story.
Thank you guys for having me.
Let's 100%. Let's cut into our last commercial. When we come back, let's get some tips from you. Let's talk about a project, and let's see where we land.
We're gonna hit the commercial.
This week's episode of The New Mindset is brought to you by Jeff Mo. Here to tell us more about it is Ozzy, one of the owners. Take it away, bro.
Jeff Mo CBD is a brand based in Southern California. Are you dealing with pain, anxiety, inflammation, stress, and more, make sure to check us out at jeffmocbd.com. Each batch of our product is lab tested for potency and pesticide. Certificates of analysis can be viewed by going to jeffmocbd.com. So don't panic, it's organic.
And now we're back.
There you go. Okay, Annie. Man, it's been a fantastic conversation with you. We've got to explore your past, your present, your future. I'd love to ask you, there's a lot of listeners. We never know who's listening. Somebody might be interested in this gig. Somebody might want to reach out to you. I don't know. So I'll ask you this. What are your top 5 tips to become, okay, how about this? What are your top 5 tips to become a top-notch DJ?
Wow, I need those tips though. Okay, so I was talking about it earlier. So practice, obviously, get your equipment, practice, use your ears to DJ. That's the thing. Use your ears to beat match. Don't count on the sound waves when you're beat matching your song, right? What's another one? Know your music, because my story earlier. Know your music. Find what sound you want. Are you going to do open format? Do you want to do a Latin sound, right? DJ LF out here. Find your sound, And I think as you go along, you're going to figure out what you like. So find your sound. Find what you like. Practice by making mixes. You don't have to put them out. Listen to how they sound, because that's how I learned. I would listen to a song and I'm oh my God, this transition is oh my God, okay, I need to work on this. So record your mixes, listen to them with your ears, see what you need to work on, and then go from there. After that, I guess I would say social media, promoting yourself. There's so many DJs who don't post their events or don't promote for themselves. So that's, and especially in today's world, we're in 2023, using social media to your best ability, get some headshots, I mean, obviously your sound and your technique is the number one thing, but in today's world, you need some headshots, get some photos, get some professional photos, I would say, and do your, promote for yourself.
Those are great, wonderful, strategic marketing and tonality.
I mean, it definitely, it speaks volumes of, and it does translate to the business world, because you have to have the right marketing, you have to understand your tools, and you have to kind of pursue it yourself.
It's like a singer, Yeah. He or she who sings also needs to understand music.
Yeah, for real.
So
it's fantastic.
Yeah,
those are some
hear
great.
What you sound like.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and the part about it that I find the most interesting is finding you, because it sounds like you took a while to really understand what you wanted to. Maybe not a while, maybe you already knew, but really honing in is the part that some people sometimes give up on. You said that you were procrastinating. Your first day.
I still do. With my music production. So it's I feel like it's a thing. It's my DJing, and then even with other things, but because we're talking about DJing and producing, with my production, it's
it's a killer, that procrastination, because taking that first step.
Because it's a science, right? I was talking about how music and audio is a science, and especially producing is definitely a science, because there's so many things that are involved in it.
Absolutely.
Well, we can't wait to hear what you're going to produce, because I love your music.
Well, yeah, the way you do it, it's being at your things. And so where can people find you, Annie?
I would say my number one platform is Instagram. So
what's your @?
My @ that's a good question. It's FEMME_official.
We're finding out.
I believe
we're going through our phones. Give us a second. We got this. Give us one sec.
Underscores in it.
Play music here. Yeah, we found it, guys.
So it's FEMME_official. So that's the @
And so your best is Instagram. I'm sure you have Facebook.
I do have Facebook. Yeah, if you
have an iCloud, is the same.
Oh yeah, if you're on Facebook and you want to follow me, find me on Facebook.
Okay.
Send me a message, because I get a lot of
inquiries
on there, and I don't know who they are. Instagram's more, kind of for everyone. Facebook is kind of
for sure. And your next gig, what is it?
What's my next gig? My next gig is going to be at Pretty Faces. So
Okay.
trying to create something for the local, the local community for like house music and tech house.
Oh, and like you said before, we'll probably find that on Facebook because you advertise on Facebook. You use the tools you have at your disposal.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Facebook, I use Instagram.
Fantastic. Annie, last thing we're going to ask you before we head out. What are your words of inspiration?
My words of inspiration. I feel like this was like that pageant that I did when I was like 19, and I just completely.
Now we need to talk about that. Oh my gosh! Well, what are your words of wisdom or inspiration for someone that's trying to come into this world and be part of the DJ world? What is that?
I would just say, just let your creativity flow, but also be you at the same time. Find what you like, and find inspiration through art and inspire other people through your art.
There we go. Well, guys, this has been a fantastic interview, Miss Annie Flores, otherwise known as DJ FEMME A. We really appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship. We've known each other for quite some time, gosh. And we definitely might need a part 2.
Yes.
We have to now do a yoga one.
My God, yes. Let's do it.
It's been a fantastic time. Guys, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We are going to do a few extra bits with Annie here. She doesn't know. She just found out, by the way. We're going to do a few extra bits with Annie for YouTube. Yeah. And check that out. Don't forget to check out those shorts. And for all of our entertainment purposes, check our Instagram for our new pages and our new Spotify shows that we have. Don't forget to check out the new Mindset reviews.
And I'm going to drink this BuzzBox for the YouTube that we're doing right now.